Hi there everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Mary Sue, another weekend episode. Before we begin, I hope everybody hits that like and subscribe, and if you don't now, please do so by the end of the video and share. Down below you'll see links to my other channel, which is Susie Cute Knickknacks. I just posted a very short new little video on there today. It's not very long, but it's short and sweet. And my husband's channel is Brother Claude Reflects, and there'll be a link to my eBay store even down there. This weekend, I'm going to play around with one of my favorite kitchen gadgets, air fryer. Yes, I love this air fryer. I use it quite often. It's a very good way if you like fried food, but you don't want food with all the mess of the grease and the hot oil, and it's not always healthy to eat fried food. So this way you can fry it without using almost very minimal oil or grease. Usually you can use just a little bit of spray in there, like Pam. That's about all you need, if any. Sometimes you don't even need that. Another way I use it sometimes, the basket in here, you can spray it with Pam and use it, or you can line it with parchment paper and put your food in that. And also, it's the easy way to keep it clean. Keep it easy to clean out if you use parchment paper. I may not use it today for this recipe. Before we begin, I want to remind everybody once again about my book I had published a couple months ago in December. Awesome Adventures of Miss Kitty and Her Woodland Friends. You can now find it. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and iTunes. Please pick up your copy today for your grandkids or your little kids, either one. Okay. Today I'm going to make hand pies, which is fried pie. In other words, fried pies. I love fried pies. And you can fill them with just about anything. You can fill them with something sweet for dessert. I'm going to do a little of both. I'm going to do some with a sweet filling for dessert, and I'm going to do some for a meal, like an entree. I'm going to make a breakfast hand pie with scrambled eggs and sausage and cheese. And you can freeze these and have them later during the week if you want to. If you freeze these later, it's best to lay them out on a baking sheet and make sure they're nice and cool before you freeze them. Don't freeze them while they're hot. Okay, I'm starting out with puff pastry. Now you can use this for hand pies, or you can use regular pizza dough or pie dough, the kind you just roll out. If you've been following me, you know I like my recipes to be quick and easy and simple. I do not fool with making my own pie dough. Not when you just go to the store and just buy it already made and it's perfect. I wouldn't even want to try to attempt to eat a pie shell that I made. I don't think it'd be that great. And I'm using another simplicity. I'm using ready-made, already fully cooked turkey sausage. Now you can use any type of meat in this. If you're making breakfast pies, you can use bacon, ham, beef sausage, pork sausage. I just happen to use these little. I cooked 4 of these, and I cut them up in little bitty bite-sized pieces. I scrambled a plate here of 4 eggs. I might not need that many. If I don't, I can always eat them later. I just scrambled up 4. Okay. Now for the sweet one, I actually made some sugar-free, what is the flavor? Butterscotch. Sugar-free butterscotch pudding. Now I was going to have, my original idea was going to make some cherry hand pies, fried cherry pies, but I didn't have any cherry pie filling. I had apple, but I wasn't in the mood for apple. So I got to looking at my pudding, and I had this sugar-free butterscotch pudding. Now I'm using sugar-free because my husband's diabetic, so I always buy sugar-free pudding. You can get them in many different flavors, so you can make these pies with any type of flavor pudding you wanted to. There's chocolate, lemon, vanilla, butterscotch, and a few more flavors. But this is good. Now I made this about 2 hours ago and let it get chilled. It needs to be firm. And see, that's what I got. Just a little instant sugar-free pie filling. When you make that, you use the recipe for the pie filling, which uses less milk. Alright, first off, I'm going to spray my pan just a little bit. There. That's all the grease I'm going to need. I'm going to set this on 370. When I get through with this, it's going to cook for about 8 minutes on 370. Okay. Now it's on 370. Let it heat up a little bit. I'll be making these. I had to let these thaw out. They thawed out in the fridge for about 4 hours, or you can thaw them at room temperature for 40 minutes. Either way, there's a hole in there. You get 2 to a box like this. I'm gonna cut this into 4 squares with my little pizza cutter. As you know, I love to use a pizza cutter for cutting dough. It is perfect. There, I have 4 squares. I'm going to separate them a little bit so I can work with each one separately. Okay. First one, I'm going to put a little bit of, just a little dab of egg in the middle. Not too much because these are small. Okay. Now just a couple little bites of the sausage in there. About 2 little pieces, or yeah, about 2 I do. Yeah, maybe 3. And I'm going to put just a little dab of cheddar cheese on top of that. Just a little bitty, tiny sprinkle, not much. You could make these larger if you made larger squares. You can make larger size hand pies, but I'm making small ones. Okay. Now the trick is to fold one corner over to the other. It's going to be a triangle shape. Okay. I'm going to mash the edges down. Make sure my food stays in there. I'm going to pinch the edges together. You're closing this up so your food stays in there while it cooks. Okay. I'm going to use a fork here and crimp the edges. One little spot wants to come open. I'm going to have to mash a little bit harder on that. Okay. Now I crimp the edges, make my little spots on there. There. And you also want to, here's my knife over here. Make a few little slits in it to let the steam out while it cooks. Just 3 small, tiny little slits. Not very big. Now that one's ready to put in here. Gonna cook these in small batches. I think I can get about 3 in there. Looks like maybe 4, because they're not very big. These smushed around here. If your dough gets a little too warm sitting out while you're making this, you can put it back in the fridge for about 5 minutes. Let it get cold again. Or if it's too cold and it's too stiff, it breaks. If it breaks when you're doing this, just put a little bit of water on the break spot and push the dough back together. Smaller fork. Make my little bit of holes right there in the middle. 3 tiny little holes. That one's ready. I said these will cook on 370 for about 8 minutes. Push some of my little sides back together. Almost want to come open there. Sometimes you have to work with it, make the little sides stay together. Don't come on yet. I'm not going to turn you on yet. Now, the last one, this one, I'm going to make a pudding one. Won't take much pudding, about a teaspoon. Yeah. Yeah, that's about a teaspoon. Don't want to put too much because you don't want it squishing out the sides when it's cooking. There. Okay. I remember my grandma used to make fried pies a lot. She'd make fruit ones, and sometimes she'd make chocolate, and my favorite was lemon. I loved lemon all the time. She was good at making fried pies. She was an expert at it. I don't know if people make fried pies as much as they used to nowadays. It's kind of so easy just to go buy them. I'm going to crimp my little edges around. Okay. There's my butterscotch one right here. I don't know if you can see those, but all three are in there, those three. It's on 370. I'm going to put it on for 8 minutes. If 8's not enough to make it golden brown, I can always cook it for another minute or two. But we'll start out with 8. There, and it has started. We'll be done in 8 minutes. I'll be right back. It's not 8 minutes, but I just forgot something. I forgot a very important thing I forgot to do. Hold on a minute. I'm going to take this out. It stops when you take it out. I forgot to put my egg wash. Help these get golden brown. You have a little egg wash here. It's 1 egg with 2 teaspoons of water. Stir it all together, mix it up, and you just brush it, coat it over these before they cook. Luckily, they haven't been cooking but a few seconds, and I have to remember it. Yeah, a nice egg wash always helps get brown. There. Now I put this right back. Start over. There it goes. Once again, we're starting over. I'm back. We're almost through cooking these. I have cooked 6 out of 8 for my last 2 are cooking right now. But look at those. Oops, don't drop them. Look how gorgeous those came out. Still a little warm. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful golden brown? That's that egg wash on top. Makes it golden brown. It's flaky because I use puff pastry. Woo, that's hot. See? My ingredients now, I use puff pastry. If you can't find this at the store, you can use just regular old pie crust, the roll-out kind in the refrigerator where you buy biscuits. You can use that. All the puff, this is in the frozen department here. Not all stores carry it. Sometimes I can't find it, but some stores carry it. Puff pastry. I used fully cooked turkey sausage. You can use any type of meat. I scrambled eggs and cheese for the breakfast ones. And for my dessert ones, I used sugar-free butterscotch pudding. You can use any flavored pudding, or you can use canned pie filling. Either one. Here's the one with the egg and sausage in it. Looks beautiful. Nice and fluffy and huge and puffed up. I can't wait to have those. We're going to have those for supper tonight. And we'll have some for tomorrow for lunch. Like I said, you can freeze these if you want to. Well, that's it for today. My last should be out in 3 more minutes. And I'll be ready to eat. Okay. God bless everyone. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.